You have enemies, not the obvious ones, the hidden ones, the ones who smile as they memorize your weaknesses, the ones who call you friend but need you beneath them. Your deepest evolutionary fear isn't the predator outside the tribe. It's the traitor within it. That tightness in your gut when a friend asks about your dreams. That's your ancestors screaming that this person will get you killed. Your intelligence has been used against you. Your trust has been weaponized. You are an asset in someone else's survival strategy, and they are draining you to fuel their mediocrity. The betrayal you feel isn't paranoia, it is prophecy. Clicking away is choosing to be prey. Staying is choosing to become a sovereign who sees the battlefield clearly. This is your intervention. Society tells you to build a big network, to be liked, to be forgiving. This is how it keeps you surrounded, distracted, and weak. Your loyalty is a leash. Your empathy is a vulnerability. Your circle is not a community. It is an ecosystem of silent wars, and you are losing. You are about to gain surgical clarity. We will dissect the 7 human archetypes that exist solely to destroy your potential. By the end of this, you will have the moral permission and the strategic protocol to cut them from your life, with the cold precision of a surgeon removing cancer. This is not about drama, this is about survival. If these ideas resonate with you, hit that subscribe button for more top-tier content. Also, drop a surgery in the comments so I know you're ready. Let's dive in. Your first duty as a sovereign of your own life is to understand the nature of the threat. Betrayal is not an anomaly. It is a feature of human social dynamics. Machiavelli taught that men are fickle, quick to change allegiance, and governed by self-interest. To believe otherwise is to build your castle on sand. Your wound, the feeling of being used, drained, betrayed by those you trusted, is not a sign that you are unlucky. It is a sign that you have been operating with a flawed model of human nature. You believed in the fantasy of unconditional loyalty in a conditional world. This fantasy is the crack in your armor through which every one of these 7 archetypes will strike. The transformation begins with a single, liberating reframe. Your inner circle is not a support group, it is a strategic council. Every person granted access to your time, your energy, your vulnerabilities, and your vision must be vetted for their strategic value. Does their presence amplify your power, clarity, and momentum, or does it create drag, drama, and doubt? This is not coldness, this is the supreme rationality of self-preservation. The betrayed intellectual often feels guilty for thinking this way. You were taught that judging people is wrong, that cutting people off is cruel. But I am giving you the moral and strategic justification. Allowing a toxic person to remain in your life is an act of cruelty to yourself. It is the voluntary poisoning of your own well. Your primary allegiance is not to the tribe, it is to your mission. And your mission is being compromised by the very people you are afraid to offend. Pause. Think of one person who, after you spend time with them, you feel subtly worse about yourself, your goals, or your future. That tightness in your gut is your strategic intelligence sounding the alarm. That person is likely one of the 7. Your guilt about distancing them is the programming we are here to erase. From this moment, you will see that guilt not as your conscience, but as their hook embedded in your psyche. It is the mechanism they use to ensure you remain a usable resource. The first step to invincibility is to become impervious to this false guilt. Your freedom begins when you realize that protecting your energy is not selfish. It is the foundational act of strategic warfare in a world that wants you weak and connected to the wrong people. Archetype 1, the smiling destroyer. This is the most dangerous of all because they wear the perfect mask. They are the friend who celebrates your victories with a smile that doesn't reach their eyes, the colleague who offers helpful criticism that only undermines your confidence, the family member who asks about your ambitions only to list all the reasons you'll likely fail. Their weapon is envy, but their delivery is sugar-coated in concern or camaraderie. Machiavelli warned of the courtier who praises you to your face, but plots your downfall in secret. The smiling destroyer may not even be consciously aware of their own envy. It operates as a subconscious compulsion to equalize status. When you rise, it highlights their own stagnation, and their psyche must either inspire to match you or seek to pull you down. Most choose the latter. You will know them by the residue they leave. After an interaction, you feel a vague sense of deflation. A brilliant new idea you shared is met with a "yes, but." A personal win is greeted with a story about someone else who did it better. They are masters of the subtle dig, the qualified compliment, the enthusiasm that feels just slightly performative. Their betrayal is not a dramatic act of sabotage. It is a death by 1,000 tiny dismissals. Their goal is not to destroy you outright, but to cap your potential, to keep you within a range where they can still feel comfortable around you. They are guardians of the status quo, and your growth is a threat to the fragile ecosystem of their ego. Pattern interrupt. Think of the last person who, when you shared good news, immediately shifted the conversation to a problem of their own. That is the smiling destroyer's signature move, refocusing your energy onto their orbit. Their presence in your life creates an invisible ceiling. You will never truly ascend with their shadow over you. The strategy is not confrontation, it is gradual, silent withdrawal. You do not accuse them of envy, you simply stop bringing them your victories, your dreams, your vulnerabilities. You become opaque. You offer polite, impersonal interaction and redirect the energy you once gave them back into your own mission. When they can no longer feed on your light, they will slither away to find another source. Let them go. Archetype 2, the victim parasite. This person is a black hole of emotional need. Their identity is built upon a foundation of perpetual crisis. They are always the wronged party, the one who life treats unfairly, the martyr in their own never-ending drama. They will come to you with problem after problem, draining your emotional reserves and strategic focus, but they will violently reject any practical solution you offer. Why? Because solving the problem would eliminate the source of their identity and their ability to command your attention. You are not their friend. You are their audience, their therapist, their emotional support animal. The victim parasite operates on a currency of guilt and obligation. They have a sixth sense for empathetic, competent people, the betrayed intellectual who feels responsible for fixing things. They will hook you with a story of woe, and you, trained to be nice and helpful, will jump in to rescue. But the rescue never ends. There is always another crisis. Their problems are like a hydra. Solve one, two more grow. This is because their real problem is not external circumstance. It is an internal addiction to the validation that comes with suffering, and they need you to witness it. Your energy is the drug they consume to feel alive. You will know them by the exhaustion that follows every interaction. You feel heavy, burdened, as if you've just carried a weight they dropped on you. Your own goals seem distant and trivial compared to their real problems. This is strategic vampirism. They are assassinating your time and focus by casting you in a supporting role in their tragedy. The moment you try to set a boundary, to say you're busy, to suggest they take action, you will be met with manipulative hurt. I guess I'm just too much for you. This is the trap. To escape, you must realize you cannot save someone who is invested in drowning. Your strategy is compassionate detachment. You must withdraw the resource they crave, your attentive concern. Offer a bland, non-committal, "That's tough," and redirect the conversation. Do not engage with the drama. Do not offer solutions. Become a boring, unresponsive audience. They will find a more willing host. Your mission is not to be their savior. It is to be your own. Archetype 3, the time assassin. This archetype does not necessarily wish you harm. They are simply oblivious to your mission. They are the friend who insists on spontaneous, hours-long distractions. The co-worker who drops by your desk for just a quick chat that derails your deep work. The person whose life is a monument to trivial pursuits and who invites you to join them in the shallow end. Their weapon is not malice, but triviality. They murder your most irreplaceable asset, your focus time. Machiavelli understood that a prince's attention is his most strategic resource. To squander it on frivolities is to lose the state. The time assassin is often fun, charming, and enjoyable in the moment. This is what makes them so dangerous. The interaction feels good, so you dismiss the lingering feeling that you just wasted 2 hours you can never get back. They are the human equivalent of an endless scroll through social media, a pleasant, empty diversion that leaves you with nothing but the regret of lost potential. They represent the path of least resistance, the comfort of chatter over the discomfort of concentrated effort. Your ambition is an implicit critique of their aimlessness, so, consciously or not, they will pull you back into the fold of unproductive normality. Pattern interrupt. Who popped into your mind when you heard distraction? Who do you hesitate to answer because you know it will lead to a time sink? That is your time assassin. Their cost is measured in compound interest. The hour they waste today is not just an hour. It is the progress you didn't make, the skill you didn't build, the leverage you didn't acquire. The strategy is ruthless scheduling. You must wall off your deep work time as sacred, inviolable territory. When the time assassin beckons, you have a pre-programmed response. "I'm in the middle of something critical. I'll catch up with you later." You must become a ghost during your strategic hours. Do not explain, justify, or apologize. Your mission is your excuse. If they cannot respect the fortress of your focus, they have declared themselves an enemy of your ascent. Treat them accordingly. Archetype 4, the double agent. This person exists in your circle, but has loyalties to parties that do not wish you well. They are the friend who reports back your private frustrations to the very people you vented about. The colleague who is overly chummy with your rivals. The family member who shares your personal news with the wider gossip network. They may justify it as just talking or trying to help, but the effect is a breach of your strategic security. They are a leak in your intelligence apparatus. In the court of Machiavelli, this person was executed. In your life, they must be neutralized. You will know them by the strange coincidences. An enemy knows something only you told a few people. A private plan becomes public knowledge. You feel a vague sense of insecurity, as if your conversations are not safe. The double agent thrives on being the bridge, the person in the know, because it gives them a sense of importance. They trade your secrets for social capital elsewhere. Your trust is the currency they spend to buy acceptance in other camps. The strategy is compartmentalization. You must immediately and permanently revoke their security clearance. They get no more sensitive information, no more vulnerable sharing. Your interactions become surface level, factual, and devoid of emotional or strategic content. You treat them as a potential intelligence leak, because that is what they are. Let them fade into the background noise of your acquaintances. Archetype 5, the mediocrity magnet. This is perhaps the most seductive archetype, because they feel like safe harbor. They are the friend who is always there to comfort you when you fail, to tell you it's okay when you don't meet your standards, to reassure you that everyone feels that way. Their betrayal is one of lowered expectations. They are deeply invested in the comfort of the average, and they perceive your drive for excellence as a destabilizing force. They will not celebrate your success with genuine joy. They will pathologize it. You're working too hard. You're obsessed. Why not just relax and enjoy life? What they are really saying is, your ambition makes me uncomfortable with my own lack of it. Please stop. The mediocrity magnet loves you at your worst and is uneasy at your best. They anchor you to your past self. Their support is a gentle, persistent pull back to the mean, back to the herd, back to a life of manageable, unthreatening goals. To ascend is to outgrow them, and they will instinctively cling to you to avoid being left behind in the realm of the ordinary. The strategy is silent separation. You do not argue with their philosophy. You simply stop seeking their counsel on matters of ambition. You stop sharing your struggles because they will use them as evidence that you should quit. You gradually migrate your time and emotional investment towards peers who are also climbing. You allow the natural divergence of paths to become a chasm. Your growth is your farewell. Archetype 6, the oblivious saboteur. This person causes damage through sheer incompetence, lack of awareness, or emotional volatility. They are the friend who makes reckless decisions that blow back on you. The business partner whose unprofessionalism costs you clients. The person whose constant personal drama becomes your emergency. They do not intend harm, but their presence in your life is a perpetual liability. They are a walking vulnerability, a loose thread that can unravel your carefully built position. Machiavelli advised the prince to avoid the contempt that comes from being seen as fickle, frivolous, or weak. Association with the oblivious saboteur brands you with these same qualities by proxy. You will know them by the chaos that follows them. You are constantly cleaning up messes, apologizing for their behavior, or managing the fallout of their poor judgment. They consume your energy in damage control. Their sin is not malice, but a profound lack of strategic consciousness. They are a drain on your resources, a distraction from your mission, and a threat to your reputation. The strategy is operational distancing. You must firewall your critical projects and reputation from their sphere of influence. Do not enter into binding agreements with them. Do not co-sign their ventures. Do not let their chaos become your crisis. Gradually but firmly, reduce their ability to impact your key domains. They must be relegated to the periphery, where their inevitable fires cannot spread to your structures. Archetype 7, the glory thief. This archetype is a master of subtle appropriation. They are the colleague who reframes your idea as our idea in the meeting. The friend who tells the story of your achievement as if they played a pivotal role. The partner who takes silent credit for your labor. They specialize in blurring the lines of contribution, ensuring that your victories are diluted and their association with you boosts their status without commensurate effort. Their betrayal is a theft of your narrative. They understand that in the social and professional arena, perception is reality. They are quietly editing reality to cast themselves in a better light, using your hard work as their backdrop. You will know them by the frustration of unacknowledged effort. You achieve something and they are immediately there, basking in the reflective glow, adding their "and then I" to the story. Your accomplishments feel strangely unsatisfying because their presence has contaminated the purity of your win. The strategy is documented clarity and public attribution. In professional settings, you preempt them by clearly outlining contributions in written form. In social settings, you calmly and clearly correct the record. I'm glad you enjoyed that project. It was something I spent months working on independently. You must deny them the ambiguity they feed on. If they persist, you gradually exclude them from the information loop and the spotlight. You stop feeding them the raw material of your achievements. Let them starve for glory they didn't earn. Knowing the archetypes is intelligence. Acting on it is power. This is where you transition from observer to enforcer. The protocol is not a dramatic, emotional purge. It is a quiet, systematic, and guiltless process of strategic realignment. First, you conduct a full audit of your inner circle. Place every person onto a spectrum of their alignment with your mission. Which of the 7 archetypes do they represent? To what degree? You will likely find that many people are hybrids. The victim parasite may also be a time assassin. The smiling destroyer might be a glory thief. Your job is to diagnose the primary threat. Second, you implement the strategy appropriate to each. Silent withdrawal, compassionate detachment, ruthless scheduling, compartmentalization, silent separation, operational distancing, or documented clarity. You do not send grand breakup texts. You do not announce your intentions. You simply change the rules of engagement. You become less available, less vulnerable, less invested. You redirect the energy you once spent on them, the emotional labor, the time, the attention, back into your own mission. This redirected energy is your rocket fuel. Third, you fortify your new boundaries. When they inevitably test you, with guilt, with crisis, with accusations of change, you hold the line with polite, unshakable neutrality. I've been focused on my priorities. I don't have the capacity for that right now. You offer no lengthy explanations, as explanations are hooks for negotiation. Your new behavior is the statement. They will either adapt to the new, less extractable you, or they will vanish. Both outcomes are a victory. This is the essence of Machiavellian social strategy. The deliberate, rational management of human relationships for the preservation and growth of your power. It is recognizing that not all connections are equal, and that sentimentality is a luxury you cannot afford when climbing from betrayal to sovereignty. Your circle must become a citadel, not a commune. The gates are guarded. Access is earned through mutual respect and aligned ambition, not through historical accident or emotional blackmail. You now have the map and the mandate. The final step is to execute without flinching. Your future self, the untouchable, focused, powerful sovereign, is waiting on the other side of these necessary goodbyes. He is not cruel, he is clear, and he is finally free. The work is not done. Identifying and removing threats is defensive mastery, but a sovereign does not just defend his borders, he expands his influence. The next stage is to actively recruit and cultivate the rare, high-caliber allies who will accelerate your ascent. How do you identify the truly loyal? How do you build unbreakable alliances based on mutual power, not just mutual need? That is the subject of the on-screen video. This is the progression from defense to empire. Do not stop at protecting your kingdom. Learn to build a dynasty. I'll see you there. See what others miss. Know what others fear. Become who others can't.